Hi, I'm May and I'll be turning the sun, moon and stars into 3 characters. In this video I'll talk about preparing for this as well as designing the sun, and in next week's video I'll then talk about the moon and the star character. When you're designing characters, there are many ways you can draw them in. You could do a turnaround sheet, an expression sheet, just illustrations, or draw them in different outfits or poses. And since I wanted to try creating something similar to what you would see in dating sim or otome games, that's what I went for, because lately I've been really interested in this. From this I then decided to go for 2 poses and 2 outfits for all 3 characters, which means 12 full body illustrations. I also added multiple eyebrows, mouths and eyes for all the faces, but I'll talk more about this at the end of the video. First, let's start with inspirations. I looked up the basic meanings of sun, moon or stars, personality traits related to them, and I kinda came up with the character's personality from this. And now I'll also show the mood board I used while designing and drawing these characters. Okay, here's the mood board, and you can see I have a lot of references here. First we have some basics, just kind of for the personality or overall vibe of the character I wanted them to have. And for these 2, these also include a bit of the colors I wanted characters to have. For the stars, not as much. I was very inspired by otome games, and for example I found these character sheets from Neil Admirari no Tenbin, or however it's spelled, but I find them in very pretty artwork, so I was very inspired by this. And here I have a lot of poses, and I also plan to use some of these poses for future projects. I tried drawing from some of these, and from Idol anime, or this is Act Addict Actors, Haikyuu. And then I have lots of references for one, the outfits from Pinterest. And there's this game called For All Time. It also really fits style-wise with what I imagined for the characters, what I wanted them to look like. And here we have some different artworks from artists I really admire. Here this was from following an eye tutorial. And down here I have some eye shapes, hairstyles, proportion references, and also a lot of hand references. So you can see different kind of categories all for this project. I'm used to drawing more modern outfits or from video game character designs, so coming up with and looking up references for more ethereal inspired outfits was interesting. It reminded me a bit of the Time or Princess art I did for the Softober art challenge. I struggled with the colors especially. I wanted both the outfits for each character to have different color palettes, but they should still fit to the character, fit as the 2 outfits, and also fit overall together. I wanted the sun to have more warm colors, definitely, the moon cool colors, and for the star character to have kind of both. And I'll talk more about this later when I talk about each of the characters. After now talking through the inspirations, I come to the general preparations for this. And this included figuring out the facial proportions and the body poses for all 3 characters. In anime styles, there's often a similar face shape, and just the hairstyles or eye colors are different. I decided that the moon and sun character would have the same face shape, and the star character a bit of a wider face shape, since I wanted his character to be younger. He also has bigger eyes because of this. For the sun character, the eyes are tilted more upwards, which gives him more of a determined, maybe aggressive look, while for the moon characters they are tilted more downwards because I wanted him to have a more soft look. Then for the noses, I am currently still struggling with figuring out what look I like the most, whether it's using just 2 lines for the nose, adding a nostril, or adding a 3rd line. And for these designs I decided to include some variations. You can see the sun has 3 lines with a nostril, the moon 2 lines with a nostril, and star character just 2 lines. Then we go to hairstyles, and I sketched some of them and chose different ones. I was most unsure about the star character at first. I also wanted either the moon or star character to have longer hair. In the end I then went with the star character having kind of a mullet, which he sometimes ties away into a ponytail. You can also see that the sun character has more wavy hair, while the moon character more straight hair, and for the star character it's more spiky. I was inspired by how the sun, moon and stars are often portrayed for this. For the poses, as I said before, I drew them from the mood board, and it was important for me to have the body facing different directions with the poses. Overall, the body proportions for the characters I wanted to go for was that the sun and moon character were around 7 heads tall, while the star character, since he's a bit younger, 6.5 heads. For the outfit preparations, similar to the Genshin Modern Outfits project, I made lots of silhouette sketches at first. I decided on 2 outfits for each one. I wanted the shapes of the overall outfits and the silhouettes to match with the sun, star or moon if possible, but also to just have a variety of outfit pieces, lengths and cuts. That's it for the preparations, and now we go on to talking about each character. First we have the sun character. First personality, I wanted him to be a very strong, fun and outgoing person. If you know the MBTI types, I would imagine him as a ESFP. Overall, I wanted his body to be a bit more muscular and wider. Maybe you can already tell I usually stylize bodies to be pretty thin and not very muscular, and this still shows here. Even though I tried to make him a bit muscular, he still looks pretty slim. For the hands, with the sun character I especially did a lot of sketches for them at first. After sketching many hands, I combined the hands and chose ones that fit to me. It's also similar to the other characters later on. For the second pose I drew for the sun character, it looks a bit like it's from a lower perspective than the first, like you're looking upwards at the character, which wasn't how I wanted it to be. I wanted all poses to be from the front, since in games that's how they are often portrayed, but there was something about this pose that made it look that way. His upper body might be too long as well. Now for his outfits, we have, I wanted one of them to have this black and gold combination and then the other one to have sunset colors. For coming up with the sunset color palette, I also used a site where you could upload images and it would create color palettes from it. I uploaded a sunset image there and chose a few of the colors. For the silhouettes of the outfits, as I said before, I wanted both outfits to be different, and I also figured out I wanted one of the outfits have kind of a transparent or translucent fabric in it for all of the characters. And for the sun here, this was a long jacket in the second outfit, which was sunset colored. Coming up with the different patterns, details and accessoires was a bit difficult for me. Adding in sun, moon or star patterns in general made it easier. And overall, I discovered that for the sun I wanted more of these convex forms, and for the moon concave forms, and for the star maybe diamond shapes. For the first outfit for the sun, you can see it has lots of triangular shapes. For the second outfit, I used more rounded shapes and also this kind of plant pattern on the jacket and a windy pattern on the pants. He has smaller shoes, and I used the same pattern as kind of this belt of the pants and the laces of the shoes. And since he was wearing a jacket, something I often see artists do to add more movement to illustrations is to have the jacket halfway down on one side. I like this since it makes it possible to see more of the shirt underneath, and it also just looks more interesting, especially for symmetrical outfits. That's it for talking about the sun character. And also, if you want to come up with names for the character, since I'm currently only calling them the sun character, moon character or star character, since I haven't come up with any names, you can leave them in the comments. I also made different expressions for the character, but I'll talk about this in another video I'll upload probably next month, because for this I want to edit the characters so it looks like they are in a game, and this will take some time, so you can look forward to seeing that video soon. And with that, the first video about drawing these 3 characters comes to an end. If you enjoyed hearing about me designing the characters, you can look forward to part 2. What do you think about the sun character, and how would you design a character that would resemble the sun or maybe the stars and the moon? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching the video and have a great day. Goodbye.